Okay, so once again, welcome from Warwick Bass Camp 2016. It's early, maybe too early for us all, but it's fantastic because we have Ryan Martinie here. Woo! How are you doing, man?
I'm okay. How are you?
Fantastic. You know, last night I was speaking with my friend, also a bass player, heavy metal bass player, and he said that your performance in Dig was the reason he picked up the bass some years ago. How do you feel about that?
I think Thomas Mignone deserves a medal. The guy who recorded that video, because we could have gotten so much mileage out of that thing. Yeah, man. Thank you. You know, I feel really lucky that people latched on to something and that they feel positively about. You know, if I can do more of that in my career, then man, I think I'm doing well. I feel very lucky that people enjoyed that the way that they did. So lots of mileage out of that one.
But it's not surprising that you are inspiration for other bass players, because during your career you developed a unique style, very characteristic, great technique. How did you do that? It's not easy, you know.
Lots and lots of practice.
Any practicing habits, you know, 3 hours a day of playing scales or something?
Oh gosh, no. Oh, that sounds terrible. That's like the worst life ever, I think. You know, playing, you know, writing, really exploring. For me, you know, the instrument is a way to explore, I guess, different facets of who I am, and different facets of my musical history, you know. So I get to pick up the instrument in the morning after I get my coffee and, you know, and start really searching for where I'm at that day, and just searching for fun, just kind of go on a day-to-day journey with me and my instrument, you know. So that interface that I've grown to love, being bass, really provides me with, you know, a great way to just, well, kill time. I think you know, people ask, well, why did you become a bass player? I think partly because I was bored out of my mind, and then I needed something tactile to do. You know, typical kid that just was looking for something fun, you know, and music's always been a passion, you know. I mean, who doesn't love the sound of something? You know, maybe people aren't big on music aficionados or really get into certain bands, but at the end of the day, most people, even if you got tin ear, you like some songs and you like to jam out in your car, you know. So certainly just being able to pick it up and jam out, you know, is kind of the goal. At the end of the day, is to be able to use that instrument to, you know, express and have fun and not be bored and hopefully create some rock.
You said about exploring, and you're one of the bass players who like to push themselves, you know, and try something new anytime. I guess that's from your unique variety of techniques come from. But you know, the question is, I love heavy metal music, but I wonder, isn't heavy metal music a little limiting for a bass player?
I mean,
because
metal has changed so much. Even, you know, in the last 10 years, it has really shifted into the realm of really playerly bands in a lot of ways. I don't find any genre limiting. I think that's in your head. You know, if you feel limited by your genre, I think that limitation is that's something you need to check yourself on. You know, because you can have fun and do lots of good things in just about every genre, and you can blend them and cross blend them and blend them again. So limiting, of course, you can't put every technique into every song, and who would want to hear music that way? But you know, I didn't find metal limiting at all. I thought it was I had a great time playing heavier music, still do, and I think it's fun to try new things inside of metal, and see if it works, and see if I enjoy it, and see if, you know, if anybody else does too. You know, which is never the guarantee. So once again, I'm always kind of trying to push something, and the techniques, you know, are a way to explore that space with the other musicians around me, and a way for me to not be bored and do something with my hands, and you know, that's creates something that I enjoy hearing, and hopefully the people like it too.
Mm-hmm. You're best known from Mudvayne, of course, but your roots are in jazz, I guess.
That's a bit of a misnomer, I think. Jazz roots. I don't even know what to say to that. I grew up, you know, in a family that was pretty musical.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only pro musician in the family, but yeah, I was very fortunate to be surrounded by people who were music lovers, and they really participated in a lot of different aspects of it. But you know, so choral things and orchestral things were pretty regular occurrence for me as a little kid. You know,
you sang in the choir?
The churches. Oh, of course, I did all that stuff. All the church performances and in orchestra. You know, I played brass for many years. So playing in orchestras and playing and doing choir things. You know, so definitely had an influence on me. Even if that seems a bit obtuse at this point, it is certainly still there. And maybe it's one of the reasons that I like metal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you talk about it being limiting. I always thought metal was pretty orchestral. Actually, I kind of heard, you know, when I was listening to bands like Carcass, you know, just kind of that groove metal thing. But back then, that was really pretty progressive stuff as far as in the metal world. You know, even though you had the guttural type vocals, you had pretty awesome melodic lines that to me they're really reminiscent of classical music. And I've always thought that, again, the guitar solos and, you know, made double things. These are, you know, like cello or violin parts. So I've always thought there was a great similarity, you know, between metal and orchestral music, actually. And now you have bands that have really capitalized on that connection, I think, and done it in style. So, yeah, we should all feel fortunate to have bands that want to push and want to incorporate new things and you know, always try to put a new twist on the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I heard that you were, we'll see, pretty good classical singer.
Oh,
Do you still sing some classical pieces, you know, under the shower or while shaving?
I'm thinking about a dog named Rover that I ran over this morning. No, I actually, I can carry a tune, but that doesn't mean that my voice is an instrument that people want to hear. You know, so a lot of people can carry a tune, and that means you can play an instrument. So I tended to go with bass and guitar as my main kind of focus in life. But if need be, I will give voice to you know, backing parts or whatever if needed or if it calls for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're talking about Mudvayne. Later you played in Glare, your own band, right?
Yes.
There were rumors about something else, some solo material. So what are you up to now?
Well, we just recorded one song with Jamie King, which some of your readers might know from Between the Buried and Me.
Mm-hmm.
He produced all of their work. And so we're getting ready to do a campaign, a pledge campaign, and use that as part of our platform. So we're going to say, here's a song. This is what we got out of working with Jamie. Do you like it? If you do, help us out. Help us make a record. So, you know, we're going to start that in the next couple weeks here, and then get in the studio in October, November.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and tour for another couple weeks. I'm home for a few days after this, and then head out for a couple weeks, and then hopefully go right into recording with Jamie. So really looking forward to that experience, and we had a great time working with him, and a great time working with each other. And you know, we're creative, and actually, funny enough, the triangle part ended up being the most valuable player. Actually, it was the MVP of the whole session for that song. Man, this thing is triangle. And every time that triangle comes in, it's time to party. It's fantastic. So exploring, pushing, still, you know, having fun doing it. I think it's really, really important to maintain a level of not not so serious, and explore and have a good time and not be afraid to do things that might be unorthodox or that blend things. Maybe people don't think, oh, hard rock or metal or something, triangle, what are you talking about? Well, boo. Well, maybe your ears haven't been hearing all the stuff that I've been hearing, but you have ears to hear, and that means you've been hearing a whole bunch of things, not just guitar, and not just bass, and not just drums, and not just the singer, but there's generally a lot of underlayment, you know, to that either guitar players do, or someone brings in a key player. There's a lot of that stuff that happens in records. It's, you know, it's softly, it's really nuanced, it's deep in the mix, but what it does is it gives it fullness and a nice, a little bit more lush landscape to whatever you add those things to. So triangle can be a real winner depending on the right song, and so can things like Wiro and kabasa and tambourines and, you know, all those things. So percussion, you know, that kind of underlayment just gives it that special, just like, wow.
Triangle may be the only instrument I could play.
It actually is. It's more difficult than one would think to get all the tones, and depending on where you hit it, it has all these different, you know, tritones and such. So
okay, so maybe not.
you do fine, but it took me a minute, man, just to kind of figure it out, and then I'm like, drummer, here, you know, Mitch, here, play this thing. So of course he, you know, picks it up and plays it so much better than I do.
So you're a triangleist right now?
Man,
but also a bassist, right?
I would love to be a concert triangle player. That'd be fantastic. I'd just stand there for minutes and minutes and minutes on end, waiting for the part, and then I'd go, ding.
For 7 minutes.
That's it.
But you still play bass, right?
I play at it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you play Warwicks, am I right?
Exclusively.
Mm-hmm. How many of Warwicks you have?
6. I think 6 or, yeah, I think I have 6 or 7. 6 Warwicks and 1 Frames guitar.
Mm-hmm. And which one of these Warwick basses is your favorite?
I've kind of got a real heart for the black one, actually. It's really awesome. But man, it's been like it has been plagued with so many issues, but it still plays great, feels better in my hands as it's set up, and yeah, I just have a good relationship I have a good rapport with that instrument.
It's your custom model?
Yeah, it's the kind of double custom, if you will, because I had it refinished. Marcus Spangler, the designer here in Warwick, he was kind enough to, we need to do some work on it. Actually, the truss rod had come undone and from getting cranked on over the years, and so I couldn't adjust the neck. And so I'm like, well, what do we do about it? And so send it, and they were going to have to pull up the fretboard and everything else anyway. So I'm like, And I had a loaner, and I really liked the new radius on the loaner neck. They changed the radius of the necks, and so they're slimmer, you know, slinkier feeling. And so it's like, well, while you're at it, let's shave it if you can. Let's change the radius of the neck, shave that down so that it has a little bit more of that newer, slinkier feel. And so I really like the feel of the neck, and the tone of that bass is just, it's kind of what it is. It's got its own special voice. I like what it has to say most of the time.
Okay, last year you were here as a professor, am I right?
Oh, scary words. Yes.
Teacher?
That
sounds better.
I know, a teacher, professor. Of course, I was here last year and had an awesome time hanging with everybody. I learned a lot about classroom setting and got to hang with some really nice people, and it was very, very cool to talk with some of the other instructors and sit in on their classes.
So you learned something yourself?
Always, I hope anyway. I should put a bullet in my head if I stop learning. You know, that's when life is over. You know, we should probably always be learning something.
That's right.
So of course, yeah. And before I, came here as an instructor, I come here just to, like this year, hang out with people like yourself, and so I sit in on the classes, and I raise my hand and ask questions. or Alfonso Johnson, or these really fantastic teachers or instructors. There's so much to learn from them. These guys have been around so long. Sorry, guys, but they've been around and been doing it long enough that, man, if you don't think you can learn from something from them, once again, I think you need to check yourself on that one, because there's a whole bunch to learn from all the bass players here, really.
Fantastic. So we have a lot of time to learn something today.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And have some fun.
Yeah, cool. Are you gonna watch the watch classes?
Probably.
Sit
Yes.
in? Yeah, cool.
I think so.
Do it. Pick your guy and go sit in, man. Learn some stuff.
We will, definitely. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Have fun.